You know, Razorback fans, we've showed you years past. The celebration, it starts early on weekends like this.
It does, and they're already starting to sort of pile out there, all the big players. We saw the mascot as well out there. Let's check in with 5 News reporter Claire Everbach joining us live. What's going on out there?
Well, it might be a little bit chilly this morning, but that doesn't stop Razorback fans because the sun isn't even completely up yet, and they're already out here. I'm actually joined by Rick Bawiec right now. Rick, why don't you tell us about this setup that's going on behind us?
Well, you know, opening day at Baum-Walker, so everybody's really excited. We get out here early and sit around and talk and just get ready for baseball season.
So talk to me about what you all are going to be doing later this afternoon once the sun maybe comes out.
Well, hopefully warming up, but yeah, we're going to be out just, you know, we just sit around talking, chit chat and whatnot, and just go eat lunch together, and then at 1:30 the gates open and it's just a mad rush to get a good seat in the hog pen.
Absolutely, and you were out here for football season as well, so talk to me about how long you've been doing this for the Razorbacks.
Oh my gosh, years and years and years. I can't count back that far. I've been a Razorback fan my whole life, and I just turned 60, so it's been a long time.
Well, you're obviously very committed. What's your favorite part about tailgating, being with all your friends?
That's it, just the camaraderie, all of our friends. We sit around and talk about reminiscing over games from the past, and then we start making our plan about when we run in, who's going to tackle who and who's going to get to the first spot. So, yeah, it's fun.
So talk to me about what preparation goes into planning something like this.
For baseball, it's not so much. You just get your chairs and your cart and your flags and stuff like that and get ready to go. But, you know, football's crazy because you have a gigantic tailgate and whatever. But, you know, it's just a way of life for us.
All right, thanks, Rick. Well, you're keeping that spirit going, so thank you for that. Well, soon this parking lot is going to be filled with Razorback fans. We'll check in with you again shortly. Live in Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
All right, thanks for that, Claire. We were joking. We might as well put Rick on the payroll by now. We interview him so much because he's such a dedicated Hog fan. Arkansas softball will take the field for their home opener this weekend as well for the Razorback Invitational. 6 games spread across 3 days, starting with a doubleheader today, SEMO at 1:30, and then Northwestern at 4 o'clock. Well, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders has sent state crews to Oklahoma, where firefighters are on the ground this morning battling wildfires. We checked the fire danger report not long ago, and roughly 300,000 acres have already burned this week, and dangerous conditions are expected to persist. The Ranger Road fire is the largest wildfire right now, moving from Oklahoma into Kansas, and there are reports that 3 firefighters have been injured. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt has declared a state of emergency. That executive order will remain in effect for 30 days.
Well, as crews battle wildfires there in Oklahoma, severe weather has hit parts of Indiana. A tornado emerging from the system. Check out the video here. This tornado moved through Sullivan County near the Indiana-Illinois border. The funnel passing near Carlisle, knocking down trees and even utility poles, leaving behind quite a bit of damage in its path. In other news this morning, Britain's former Prince Andrew was under investigation a day after his arrest.
The probe follows recent Epstein files suggesting that he may have shared sensitive government information with the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, this while serving as a trade envoy. Jared Hill has the details.
Slouched in an SUV, former Prince Andrew captured leaving a police station in England nearly 12 hours after his stunning arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Authorities searched his homes as they probe whether Andrew provided confidential government information to now deceased financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. This would have been while the ex-prince worked as a trade envoy.
In the Epstein file release that we've seen recently in the last few weeks, there appear to have been documents and emails which Andrew forwarded to Jeffrey Epstein and other people, which appear to have been highly sensitive.
Prince Andrew became Andrew Mountbatten Windsor last year when King Charles stripped his younger brother of his official titles over his connection to Epstein and allegations of encounters with young women. The ex-prince has long denied any wrongdoing. The king carried on with Fashion Week events after releasing a statement on his brother's arrest, writing in part, "The law must take its course." The family of Virginia Giuffre, who died by suicide after saying she was trafficked to the then prince while she was underage, welcomed the news.
This is the thread that we need to continue to pull to uncover the further allegations.
The historic development sent shockwaves through the United Kingdom.
Over, he gets what he deserves.
Until something is proven in court,
It's not fair to judge.
President Trump, when asked about Andrew.
I think it's very sad. I think it's so bad for the royal family.
If charged, the former prince could face up to life in prison. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, a pretrial hearing will continue today in a Washington County capital murder case. Casey Jennings, accused of killing his ex-girlfriend Allison Castro. Now, at the hearing already this week, the judge denied all motions from his defense attorneys to remove the death penalty. Attorneys also presented evidence to be used in a jury trial set for June. One of those being considered for admission is a police interview after Jennings was arrested back in 2022. Now, during the interview, he confesses to the killing. They say the judge will decide today whether it can be admissible. Of course, we'll be there in the courtroom. We'll give you any of those updates. And we've obtained some new documents related to the decertification of a Madison County deputy. Tim Hassel resigning from his position after failing to respond to a 911 call later tied to a homicide investigation. Taylor Barksdale went missing back in 2024. Her remains found 3 months later. Just days before she went missing, Hassel was dispatched to the report of a woman screaming for help. Hassel told dispatch he went to check, but the woman who made the report and GPS later confirmed he never did. Hassel later admitted his actions to the sheriff, Ronnie Boyd, and he was forced to resign. Boyd then started the decertification process at the state level. It ended with a unanimous vote to decertify Hassel last week. We're hearing from Washington County Judge Patrick Deakins on the growth and changes in the area. He gave the annual State of the County address on Thursday.
Yeah, he was highlighting projects that the county has completed. This includes the Emergency Operations Center and the Overcrowding Jail Initiative. He also called on his fellow quorum court members to modernize planning codes. He says the county budget has increased by 2% for this year.
Yeah, more needs to be done, he says, to alleviate any tax burden for residents while maintaining growth as well.
I want the taxpayer to get the best product or service that they're expecting for government at the most efficient price because it's coming right out of their pockets. So whenever I'm looking at a project or a policy that we want to implement, I want to make sure it checks 3 boxes. Does it make Washington County safer? Does it make Washington County more efficient? And does it make Washington County more prosperous? And so if those are the tenets that we're going to put in place for the taxpayers, we believe that brings them victories.
Judge Deakins is seeking re-election in Washington County. He faces 2 Republican challengers in next month's primary, Tim Shepard and Mark Scalise. Shepard is a current division captain for Fayetteville Police. Scalise ran against Deakins in the 2022 Republican primary and lost in a close runoff. Whoever wins will face Democratic candidate Dana DeRee in the general election. So far, more than 3,500 ballots have been cast 3 days into early voting. Well, you can find early voting polling sites and more information on next month's election. All you have to do is text the word vote to that number right there on your screen, 479-785-5000, and we'll send you back a link to our full March election guide.